Hello, Elizabeth here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a rhinestone Chanel logo phone grip. Really, you can make a rhinestone Chanel logo anything with the steps in this video. To make this pop socket, I did cut some vinyl out using my Cricut machine, but if you don't have a Cricut, don't worry, we'll talk about some other options you have instead. If you've never tried out patterns or designs with your rhinestoning, a phone grip is a great place to try it out. It's a nice flat surface to put an image onto, but it's super small, not too big of a commitment, and a super quick project. So far, for all of the Cricut tutorials I've posted, I've been using the Cricut Design Space desktop program, but today we're going to be using the mobile app, and I'm going to show you how to use a really cool feature called Snap Mat. Snap Mat is an amazing feature to get familiar with because you can put little vinyl scraps all over your Cricut mat and then use your phone camera to scan the mat, and it will actually automatically recognize where on the mat each of your scraps goes. So you can cut many colors at once and use up all those little scraps you don't know what to do with. I'm very excited to show you guys. We're starting in the Cricut Design Space mobile app, and first I'm going to the Shapes menu and adding a circle to the canvas. I need to cover a design that's already on my pop socket and make a nice white background that will look good behind my silver rhinestones. I measured my pop socket to be about 3.7 centimeters wide, so I'm just resizing my shape in the Edit menu, and I also made it white. Next, we need to add our Chanel logo design. I just Google image searched Chanel logo and scrolled until I found this one with a plain white background, saved it to my photos, and then opened the Design Space app again and uploaded the Chanel image, and then you're going to clean it up by removing the background. Don't forget the gap in the middle. Choose Cut File and place it on your canvas. Then you want to drag and drop it onto the circle and just resize it by hand until it looks the way you want it to. To use the Snap Mat feature, you first have to make everything on your canvas the same color so that it will organize them onto the same mat. You can do this quickly by just hitting the Sync button in the toolbar and dragging the layers under one color. Hit Make It and it will take you to a preview of the cutting mat. I have two little squares of white and black vinyl here that I just cut out by hand to be a little bit larger than the phone grip, and I'm just placing them at the top of my mat. Then from the mat preview we were just looking at, there's a button at the bottom of the screen that says Snap Mat. Click on that and allow access to your camera, and it's going to open a camera screen that has a frame to fit your mat in the middle of. There are blue dots on the top and the side that act like levels to show you how to tilt your phone. I won't lie, it does take some time to figure this out and get it to work. But once you have it in the right spot, it will automatically pull up a photo of your mat with the vinyl that you placed on it. Then you can just drag and drop your two designs onto their respective vinyl colors, and your Cricut knows exactly where to cut based on that image you took. Pretty freaking cool, eh? You can do this with as many scraps and designs as you want to. So once you have your designs in place, hit Next and set your material to vinyl, and make sure you have your fine point blade loaded in your machine. And then you'll just load in your mat like you normally would and start the cut. Once the cut is finished, you can weed your designs and cut some transfer tape to transfer them onto the phone grip. First, I transferred the circle to cover the old design, and then I just used the edge of that same piece of transfer tape to pick up the Chanel logo and place it in the middle of the phone grip. So, if you don't have any sort of vinyl cutting machine like a Cricut, you can purchase vinyl stickers of basically anything on Etsy or some other websites and have it mailed to you, or you can even just use a plain white pop socket and hand draw your design on it. Once your design is good to go, you're ready to start rhinestoning. My favorite adhesive for rhinestoning is a glue called Gem Tack by the brand Beacon, and I transfer it into a little precision tip bottle. You want to start with the logo. I'm doing mine in black and using tiny black rhinestones I bought on AliExpress. They came in a package of mixed sizes, and I picked out a bunch in a size that fits perfectly inside the logo. Apply a thin layer of glue to a small section of the logo and use a wax pencil to pick up and place your rhinestones. The more perfectly you can place it, the better it's going to look. So I do a lot of nudging around with my wax pencil after I've placed my stones to make sure it has a nice clean edge. Keep applying thin layers of glue in small sections all the way around the logo until you have the whole thing filled in. The nice thing about gem tack is that it dries slowly, so you can move things around as you need to. Once the logo is all filled in, you can do a final check and adjust anything as needed, and then you can move on to the background. The first thing you want to do with the background is fill in the space around the logo. I'm using Crystal AB rhinestones. Again, they're from AliExpress and they're from a mixed size package, and I picked out the smallest ones. I started with the gap in the center of the logo by applying a thin layer of glue and placing tiny rhinestones to fill in the space as tightly as possible. You can see that there is some visible white glue spilling through in between my rhinestones, but that will dry completely clear, so don't worry too much about it. Next, you want to continue outlining the space inside the logo, and it's easiest if you start right along the edges and then fill in the middle to make sure you have a nice tight fit and no large gaps between your stones. This part doesn't need to be as perfect as the logo, just fill in the space as best you can. After filling in the inner part of the logo, I outlined the outer edge of the phone grip. I used slightly larger stones for the outline. This is another part you want to get as perfect as possible so that the outline has a nice clean edge and doesn't look wonky. Once you get to the last few stones of the outline, you might have to do a little bit of rearranging to make them all perfectly spaced. Next, I outlined the outer edges of the Chanel logo using those same larger stones I used for the outer edge of the phone grip. Once those edges are complete, the rest is pretty straightforward. Just keep filling in the rest of the space as tightly as possible using tiny stones. If there is a small amount of space between some of the stones, don't stress. It shouldn't be too noticeable once everything is done. and that's really all there is to it. Once it's done, you want to let the glue cure for 7 days to be safe, and then you can use a gentle soap and a little nail brush to scrub off any excess glue or wax from your wax pencil and make it nice and shiny. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below letting me know what you would like to see next. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.